الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق وأعز المرسلين أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد
وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وصحبه المنتجبين وعلى جميع أنبياء الله والمرسلين. Brothers and sisters, first of all, I would like to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this month a blessed month upon us all. فالله يتقبل أعمالنا وأعمالكم وصيامنا وقيامنا ويعيده علينا باليمن والخير والعافية. My today's topic is very simple, very complicated and argumentative. Not to mention it is very debatable. Is how to confirm this is the beginning of the month of Ramadan, or the beginning of the month of Eid, or any lunar month. Some atheists claim that because we have different opinion about the hilal means a crescent, the Islam is obsolete religion, and Islam is not up to the code, does not go along with technology, old-fashioned way, very classical. You Muslims are trying to impose upon us an old-fashioned way in understanding this universe and observing it. That's the claim. And what made that case worse, when we have people start fighting within the same family who is right and who is wrong. And should we go with this opinion or that opinion? Or when we have some mashayikh, they still consider astronomy as munajjimin. Focus, science. Until now we still have some of those. They say if astronomy is right, if a shuttle was sent to Mars, and he still used the word if. We'll talk about it in a second. This topic is very important, very hot topic. And let's go little by little with its concept. First of all, there's a big difference between fatwa and Islam. Fatwa could be right, could be wrong. Islam is right. Islam is the authentic, it's the authentic words of God that has no doubt in it. We do not even question it, like the Quran. Fatwa is when a scholar tries to understand Quran or Hadith and deduce or derive from them a ruling for you. So he might be wrong, he might be right. It's like I have the best, beautiful constitution, but when it comes to details, we see lawyers start having issues. I take it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, they have to understand and explain the Constitution based on their background, understanding, knowledge, experience. They might be wrong, they might be right. And how often we had same case in the Supreme Court, but we got different results by different lawyers. And we have this in the USA at least, we saw it. Same thing with the scholars. Same thing with anything in life. When you go to a doctor, oh, you know what, you need a surgery. You go to another professional doctor. No, there's a solution for you without a surgery. You guys, you're confusing me. Why? Different understanding, different background. So the fatwa is something, could be right, could be wrong. So if you see a fatwa wrong, please do not just jump into a conclusion and tell me your Islam is wrong. The fatwa is wrong. Go talk to the scholars. And I'm pretty sure if the Prophet were to be here, he could have gave you what? He could have given you the proper answer with very logical analysis. Now, one of those issues, al-hilal. What is al-hilal? Can we depend on science to prove the new moon or no? The scholars, sometimes they want you to use a traditional way. Some scholars, they want this. Why? Because to them, they consider it's less headache on you. Example, let's say I have a blood on my clothes. Or I tell you, forget about this, I tell you, go wash your hands. You go, wash your hands, you give it like 10, 15 seconds. Say, you are not allowed to touch that food and help me in preparing it unless you wash your hands thoroughly. You go wash your hands. Before you start helping me out, I say, hold on, let me bring my microscope. I bring the microscope and started checking, hey, do we have any bacteria? Anyone does this nowadays? I'm talking about normal people. You tell me, come on, khalas, I wash my hands 20 seconds, I go use the proper things. It's enough. You want to drink water. I tell you, this is a pure water, good water. You go get your microscope, double check, hey, what's in that water? You go with a general opinion. So some scholars, they claim bringing in technology and making your life live like in a lab work environment, this is not right. You're confusing my life. You're not simplifying it. On the other hand, we have scholars, they say it depends. Sometimes science can be used to simplify our life because it gives us what? Simple, definitive answers. But sometimes it might complicate our life. But we know in Islam a general rule: ما جعل عليكم في الدين من حرج. Anything haraj, amr haraji, stop it. This is not Islam. Unless it's built in. يعني الصوم, it has some haraj. Okay, hajj, it has some haraj. I'm talking about the normal cases. You hurt yourself, you cannot make wudu, water can hurt you. Don't make wudu. What do? Tayammum. And just name it. So when it comes to the crescent and sighting the moon, is that haraj? Is going to make it harder on us if we follow science? Or will make it what? Simpler on us if we follow science? Astronomy. This is a question. But before we enter this, we can see important phenomena. If I want to use Islam and the calendar of Islam, brothers and sisters, if the calendar is not accurate, can we get anything done in our life? When we are going to meet the beginning of month, when is it? It could be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Man, we're in a century, we build a car every 60 seconds. What do you mean either Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? Be more precise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He ordered us to pray, He made it very legitimate time. Zawal, sunset, Fajr, and just name it. And He gave us exact, proper methodology, isn't it? To know whether it is Zuhr, Asr, through the prophets. Now you tell me the hilal is something very ambiguous. You think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make us correlate our worshiping to something ambiguous? Impossible. So here, because of this, we have to go dig into what is the concept of hilal. The first thing we are going to gather is from the Quran. The Quran said, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ. The first question is, what is hilal? In Arabic, what is hilal? When I say هَلَّ الْهِلَال, what does it mean? Does it mean it has to be crescent? No. The word hilal has nothing to do with the crescent. الاستهلال, we say طلب الهلال, but why do we call it hilal? Because it appears to people, they see it. They see it. That's al-hilal. So this is very important definition. Whenever you want to say this is a new moon, it has to be somehow possible to be visible. You cannot say it is hilal and science is telling me it's impossible to be seen. And Allah, we see Arabic countries. We see Arabic countries. Tomorrow is Eid. Tomorrow is Eid. Scientifically proven, it is impossible to see any hilal. And in the concept of Ahl al-Bayt, anything that contradicts science, throw it away. Science, legitimate, logical, well-proven science. It's very important. So this is the hilal. So therefore we need a hilal. Now how I'm gonna define that hilal after that? Is it by eye? By telescope? By calculation? By assumption? By going to my neighbors who's a blind person, but he had good feeling, he's gonna tell me tomorrow is hilal or not? That's the problem among Muslims. And this is major problem. Why? Because always they bring us couple ayat and a hadith. One of them, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْهُ. Ya Habibi, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ. Which معناتها the one who saw the hilal. First of all, did not say فَمَنْ شَهِدَ الْهِلَال. It said the month. Yani if you are in your country and you have the preconditions to fast that month. It's not saying فَمَنْ رَأَى مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ. Do you see the month? You don't see the month. It's talking about the month. So this is a wrong, pick for the ayah. فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ. ما فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الْهِلَالِ. And shahida means hadara. And if you are present, you are not traveling, you are not sick, you are ready to fast. So this is not a good evidence. Second evidence from hadith. I'm not going to go into details. I'm just giving you just a quick information. Because otherwise it will be a fiqh session. Inshallah, maybe one day we'll do it. The hadith, famous hadith among Sunnah and Shia, it has similar meaning among two school of thoughts, and that make it strong hadith. And hadith sahih sanad in both parties, both sects. Says, صوموا لرؤيته وافطروا لرؤيته. Here is the problem. So you break your fast or you start a new fast based on what? If it's Eid or a new month. Based on what? Based on new moon sighting by naked eye. By naked eye. It's not equipped with anything. Not even a telescope. So here we have a problem. The hadith is saying you have to spot and see the new moon. For your information, scientifically, new moon means no moon in astronomy. Okay? New moon means no moon. Okay? It needs about 2 days, 26 degrees, so we can see enough reflection of the moon toward us. Anyway, صوموا لرؤيته. See here? It says رؤية. رؤية in Arabic means what? You see it. Let me help you, I would say. Let me help you out. When was the Prophet born? Which year? The year that the Prophet was born in, we call it Am Al-Fil. The Yemen king brought his elephant or elephants to destroy Kaaba. In that year, the Prophet was born. We call Am al-Fil. Yani, did the Prophet see the elephants? No, he was not born even. What did Allah tell the Prophet? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. Alam tara. haven't you seen what Allah? I didn't see them, I did not see them. What do you mean, alam tara? Oh, so ru'ya in Arabic is not just what? By eyes. And if I tell you, please, if you see, our friend, say hi to him. You did not see him. You talk to him over WhatsApp, or Snapchat, or Telegram, or phone. But you did not see him. You don't say hi from the sheikh. It's a problem. So now the question, how I'm going to prove that ru'ya is metaphoric, not what? Physical, literal meaning. I have a proof. By default in Islam, in Arabic, by default, if I tell you something, the default is literal meaning. Do not eat means do not eat. Oh, you meant do not eat too much, you meant do not... No. I'm very straightforward. Logical people, when you give them an order or a statement, you have to understand the literal meaning first, isn't it? In order to say it is metaphoric, I need what? A proof. I need what? A proof. Do I have a proof this is metaphoric? Yes. How? Well, let me rephrase my statement. It's not metaphoric. It is not limited to vision. The proof. The continuation of the hadith. Because the hadith, according to Bukhari, and according to so many other hadith, let's say I do not see the hilal on Sunday, 29th of Sha'ban. I don't see the hilal. Can I consider tomorrow a new month if I don't see the hilal? No, what do you tell me? If you do not see the hilal, you have to continue what? 30 days. Oh, so here I use another methodology. It's not always ru'ya. Another group. According to Sayyid al-Khou'i, and this is according to Hadith Sahih Islam. If the hilal is like earth shine hilal, so you see the crescent here and you can see the halo around the moon. He will tell you, if you see this, that means the month did not start this night, it was before. You go back and you reset your what? Month. So this is a way we did not use what? Eye. The hadith itself, it says, why do we have to use ru'ya? Because the hadith said, لَيْسَ بِالتَّمَنِّي وَلَا بِالتَّظَنِّي. So any method you use and it has doubts, do not depend on it. And the only certain way back then is what? Is what? Ru'ya. Or you count 30 days. Now, which one is more certain, ru'ya or astronomical calculations? So the Imam said, لَيْسَ بِالتَّظَنِّي. Between someone saw the hilal and science is telling me it is impossible to be seen. Which now is tavanni? It's about done. It's about, doubt and wishes. Which one? The people. I give you a story. I said that that on Sunday. In a village, it's a very nice story. I'm going to repeat it for the benefits. In a village, a very old guy always is the only person who could see the hilal, the crescent. Very old guy, gray hair, long eyebrows. The only guy. One time, a young guy in the village felt there is something fishy in this story. Man, we are the young people, we cannot spot the hilal. And this old guy, he can see the hilal, he cannot even see his house. How could that possible? He said, you know what, when you go, for moon sighting, I would like to join you. So he said, okay. He went with him. And everyone started trying to spot the moon. No one was able to see the crescent except that old guy. That young guy, he came to him, he looked at him in his eyes. He said, do you see the hilal? He said, yeah, that's here. So look again, man, there's no hilal. He looked at his face, he saw one hair, gray hair, coming down, and he's seeing it as what? As a crescent. So he did this. lift it up, and he sees, show me the hilal. Oh, there is no hilal. So for 10 years you have been making people fast, and they break their fast because of what? One hair. While science does not have this probability. So we have hadith sahih al-sanad that says, I mean the subject has more into it, but we are running out of time. This is sahih al-sanad. عن محمد بن أبي عمير ثقة عن أبي أيوب ثقة عن محمد بن مسلم ثقة عن أبي جعفر الباقر عليه السلام قال إذا رأيتم الهلال فصوموا. If you see the crescent, okay, you have to fast. وإذا رأيتموه فأفطروا. That means the Eid, crescent. وليس بالرأي ولا بالتظني. يعني it's not about your opinion, your suggestion, and your probability. تظني, probability. ولكن بالرؤية. It is all about what? Sighting. والرؤية ليس أن يقوم 10 فينظروا فيقول واحد هو ذا. يعني the Imam is saying, there's another important thing. Why it is not just ru'ya as we're understanding in an abstract way. It's about what? Certainty. And that's why in fiqh we ask this question. الهلال هل هو على نحو الموضوعية أو على نحو الطريقية؟ يعني هل الهم بالهلال أن نراه فهو الموضوع أم لا؟ الهلال هو على نحو الطريقية، يعني وسيلة من وسائل إثبات الهلال. ماذا؟ الرؤية. It could be something else. One of the methodologies is a ru'ya. And we gave examples. Wait 30 days, complete 30 days, if you see a halo on the crescent, and just name it. So here Al-Imam is saying more than this. If you are in a village, 10 people, just ones, عادل, ثقات, they say, I do not see the hilal, except one, he claimed, yes, there is hilal. What the Imam said, do not believe him. Because it's only one hilal. How come you see it and I don't? 10 people, 9 people out of 10 could not see it. You are wrong. You have a hair somewhere. So from that, we can tell Al-Hilal is just a methodology. Moon sighting is a methodology. If you have better certain way, please go with it. Old days, I'm talking about 50 years ago, yes, astronomy was not as complicated, sophisticated, accurate like now. Because when we talk about hilal, I'm not talking about just the outer side of this, atmosphere. When you are in your village, I have to know your longitude, altitude, pollution, humidity, so many things. The more you give me factors, the more accurate I will give you. Back then we did not have that much. Therefore, we start seeing scholars. It started with a few scholars in the beginning, and people used to cuss them. But nowadays, we can see so many scholars start paying attention to this beautiful concept, and the ru'ya is not just sighting the moon, is not just through observing the crescent. It could be done by any calculation that make sure you are on the right track. And that's why we have fatawa, even for Sayyid Sistani. If you are certain 100% beside or behind that cloud there is hilal, is good enough. Most of the scholars. Why? Because you are certain. And the last thing, brothers and sisters, Al-Hilal is something global. Al-Hilal, crescent, is something global. And that's why we have people like Sayyid al-Khou'i. He does not believe the Hilal has to belong to your zone. If you see the Hilal in California, therefore it is in Michigan. While Sayyid Sistani, Sayyid Ali and others, They say no, it is local to your area or close to your zone sunset. So that's why what happened yesterday, people in California were able to spot the hilal. According to Sayyid Sistani and Sayyid Ali, this is no good for us here in Michigan because we do not belong to the same zone. But people living there, if they follow Sayyid Ali, it is good with them. For Sayyid Sistani, it's a problem. Why? Because he does not permit using what? Telescope or any other equipment. But do we have improvements and the new opinions coming up? Yes, we start seeing this. But the question, and this is a major question, why when it comes to sunset, sunrise, dhuhr and asr, you go rush to the calendar? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala في محكم كتابه said, وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضِ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ. Who is, or anyone here, goes outside to see Al-Fajr والخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر? Because Al-Fajr is a horizontal thin line. This is the beginning of the dawn when the sun is 18 degrees. And they start decreasing, 18, 17.5. And that's why we have different opinion about Fajr. Any one of us goes outside to check the Fajr? So why we depend on science? Why when there is eclipse, everyone rush to science to know what time eclipse is? Why? But when it comes to moon sighting, if science is telling me it's impossible to see the hilal, we see some fatawa, unfortunately. They say, yeah, but 10 people saw the hilal. Ya habibi, those people are high, or they have issues. They have issues. It's impossible. You're telling me something impossible. Rephrase your logic. So now the problem is not in Islam, brothers and sisters. Islam made it clear. إن عدة الشهور عند الله 12 شهرا. Now how to define the hilal? He kept it very dynamic for us. Through the hadith, through the logic, through using certainty, definitely things will get changed.